Digital Marketing Radio, episode 217. Is it possible to humanize chatbots?
DigitalMarketingRadio.com.
Broadcasting live on the Digital Marketing Radio Facebook page, this is the weekly show that prizes actionable advice from today's top digital marketers. Catch up with all the previous episodes at DigitalMarketingRadio.com.
The Big Interview with David Bain.
Hello, I'm David Bain, and today I'm joined by a proud geek who runs a business incubator and hangs out with neuroscientists. He works with clients to customize the personality of chatbots to help articulate the essence of the brand. Welcome to DMR, Peter Lizowski.
Thank you, David. It's great to be on here with you. This will be a lot of fun. We're going to have just a hoot of a time.
We are indeed, and yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Peter. Well, I would say you can find Peter over at slapshotstudio.com/chatbots. So, Peter, chatting chatbots today. You say that chatbots will soon replace traditional websites, search, and apps. So, replace seems quite a strong word. Is that really the case?
It's as we know, websites and OS and things like that. Just maybe to back up a little bit, David, for your audience, I know bots and chatbots have entered people's vocabulary a little bit, but there's still a little bit of a misunderstanding as to what the heck these things really are. So, chatbots it's all about conversation now, where we're moving, and we'll get into that with GUI and what we call now CUI standards here going forward. But chatbots are automated software programs that can interface with things like Facebook Messenger, websites, Slack, Kik, WeChat, depending on where you are in the world. And so when I say I looked at this, and we've been looking at bots for the last 3 or 4 years now, but the reason why I say that is I come from a high-tech background. So I've worked at different companies you probably would recognize, like Nike and Hewlett-Packard and Verifone and things like that. And so my background is in engineering, and so all my buddies, we all kind of split and we went in different directions. I got some buddies that work at Apple, some work at Microsoft, and other places like that. And what's interesting, what's going on now is you're seeing, and you will see in the next 3 to 5 years, bots are going to basically reinvent the internet. So when I say replace, if you look at websites, they're going to become bot sites. So for example, if you think about it, right, you go to a website right now, David, and you're having to hunt and peck around, go through pages. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if a bot just popped up and said, hi, an animated character talked to you, and you're basically interacting with that character, and it's guiding you as a virtual assistant through the website. The same thing with search. Yeah,
I guess if I wanted to speak to it,
yeah, if you wanted to interact, and this is what we're talking about that you mentioned with. We are developing a brand new business category called Relationship Experience Technology, and really what that is in my world, in my background, technology is only good if it can create a humanized connection, right? So we talk about the history of design, right? I started my career back in the 80s, David, when it was a big deal. IDEO came out with industrial design and human ergonomics, which was, well, how do we hold products and things in our hand, right? And then it became, in the 2000s, it was about graphical user interface standards, right? So it was about GUI, right? And how do you create these great user interfaces that interact with people? Now we're moving, and you're going to see a lot more talking about this just because we're inventing some of the standards, and they're called CUI, which is conversational user interfaces, which is all about how do we talk and interact with technology now as human beings, and how does that technology interact and talk with us.
But do you think this is something that is really going to impact virtually every time that a user interacts with a website, with search experience, or is chatbots going to be just appropriate for certain industries or situations, do you think?
I think there's going to be several verticals that will be in more of use as the chatbots. But I will tell you, as far as Google search, Google will be changing. I believe that they are going to have a bot search on the front end. I mean, they just came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago, David, with their first bot, artificial intelligence bot for job recruiting. And automatically going out and searching and doing recruiting for people. If you look at you know, at least the people that I talk to in the industry, Mac and Windows are going to be replaced by bot OSs, where the bot's actually going to interact and do all the computing functions. You're going to be, whether it's textual or it's voice, but the bot will be taking care of all that, and most of computing in the future is going to be cloud-based anyway. It won't be this hardware system you have sitting in your office.
So what type of business is most likely to be impacted by this?
Well, we have 4 verticals right now that we're working with. For examples, I think it's across the board, but realtors and the ability to search and buy and sell property that way through bots, which gets really into lead qualification. We're working with a large manufacturer right now. It's actually a hot tub company all across the United States of America, and the other thing with this relationship experience technology is it's about, what we're doing is we're creating animated characters that actually, I mean, think about like how Mickey Mouse is to Disneyland, right? Well, we are creating animated characters that are talking to people and interacting with them in a very human-like way, and that's the chatbot. So if you look at that, that can be across all different industries: real estate, attorneys, local business. We can talk about that here in a few minutes. I have an idea where really we're going to be heavily replacing a lot of advertising and social media with bot interactions in local business. And then you get into local online. You can use bots for, if you have an online course, membership course, the bots can do accountability and follow-up. The bots can serve as a part teacher in the course. So there's a lot of different applications. Really, it's kind of mind-blowing. It's whatever you can create, we can do with a chatbot.
I guess the key is to actually interact with the consumer with the right message that they're looking for at the right time and not annoy people. It'll be so easy to actually just pop up and splurge out advertising material that someone is just not looking for at that moment in time. How does a business just ensure that it's a help rather than hindrance to people?
Yeah. David, that's a great question. And I get that a lot. And that is really, it gets into, that's a bad way to use a bot. There's do's and don'ts for bots. And there have been marketers now that have jumped on and used chatbots in a very spammy way. And basically, at least in Facebook Messenger, you'll get your account banned if you do that. What I'm talking about is these bots, they're instant and they're user relevant. So think about it this way. Do you play video games, David, at all, or?
Occasionally. I'm not a big gamer though.
Yeah, I'm not a big gamer either, but if you look at the generation behind us, if you look at a very popular software video game called Zelda, right? We've all heard of that worldwide introduction. Well, Zelda, you can go off and basically go and pick a land you want to go into, and you go explore that land with Zelda and the characters. For us, really, it was going back to our childhood days. If you had like choose your own adventure in a storybook, right? So if like you want this adventure, go to this page, right? If you want this adventure, go to this page. So this is why it's not spammy and it's not bad, because the user's driving the experience. They get to choose their own journey. And that's what makes it so astounding. And, you know, we're seeing right now, I know a lot of your people that, you know, listen to your show, they do a lot of email marketing, I would imagine, and things like that. We're getting open rates almost near 100%, click-through rates well above 70%. I mean, you compare that to email, which is probably 20%, 2%. And it's because it's instant, it's user relevant, and it's entertaining and informational to the user.
Got you. And I'm certainly very keen on exploring areas like VR, and I guess there are so many applications for chatbots and new technology like that aren't even experienced by the general public quite yet.
Yeah. But that's coming. You'll see, and not too far off is hologramic technology too, which is kind of not played much in the news, but there are working prototypes. In fact, Xbox is going to be coming out with some hologramic technology, I believe, in the next 5 years, where the whole game surrounds you in the room. But this is where, and then you could have a bot as a virtual assistant, say like in one of the games where it's interacting as one of the players, but you know it's working with you to help with the game, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean,
so that's where VR and hologramic will come into play.
Wow, yeah. So is it right for most businesses to actually consider actively what to do with a chatbot for their business now, or is the best thing for most businesses to actually sit back and see what some of the competition are doing and then be the second stage in the adopter series?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, as you know, in product life cycles or technology life cycles, and I work with those quite a bit with my background, is we're in that early adopter phase. The thing about that, though, David, is if you wait to become part of the main street, the big land grab is gone. So now's the time to get in. Now, I can tell you, we work with clients right now. We're using, I mean, to get very practical and pragmatic about it, we're using chatbots for lead qualification. So, for example, let's say whether you use social media, I mean, you can actually use a bot where you can go out to Facebook and set up a bot where you're doing some kind of Facebook post. And if somebody wants to get a lead magnet, for example, you would type in a certain keyword. And if they type the keyword in, the Facebook Messenger bot pops up and it starts interacting with you and it delivers the lead magnet. Okay, so that's one example of lead qualification. You can use it with ads as well, like Facebook ads or Google pay-per-click. We're doing bots, both Facebook Messenger and website. So it's not just the Facebook Messenger world. There's expert bots. So for doctors, we're talking to some different in the healthcare industry right now where there would be an initial diagnosis, right? So you go and collect information. I own just so you know, I own a large health and wellness center here in California. So this is bricks and mortar. We do massage, we do wellness protocols, skin protocols, facials, we do infrared technology. What we did, for example, is when I first learned about Facebook Messenger opening up, we actually did for a test, we did a little contest bot, okay? And what happened was, which blew me away, was we offered a free spa day. So they would come in, they could do a massage, facial, infrared. It had a package value. Within 30 days, we had over 424 people sign up to the Messenger bot. Now, as soon as they're interacting with the bot, David, they're signed up on your list like an email list. Okay. But what's interesting is what we did is now they're engaged. So now the bot's talking to them. And back then, so this has gone very, very fast. Back then, all I had was this little emoji cod character called Chase. Now he's a fully talking animated robot. But all I had was this little emoji cod. But he had a little bit of a personality by the way I was, typing and talking. And what we did is Chase started asking people, well, okay, so now that you're here, can you tell me what's going on with your body? Are you in pain? Are you an athlete? Are you stressed out? And based on that, then we sent them to a quiz. And that quiz was outside on a landing page. So you can use bots to send individuals to landing pages. From that, we got 256 people that went through the quiz and gave us their email so that they could get like the pain management guide, for example. Wow. And then from that, we had about 28 people that set appointments with us, and we got 6 memberships. So the overall return on investment was about 13-1. I mean, so if you're talking like hard, business numbers, we did really well with it because, and I really believe it's because they were interactive and they engaged and they had fun, but it was about them. I always tell people, look, if you're going to a gym, some people go to gyms to lose weight. Some people go to bodybuild. Some people go for cardiovascular. So I'm not going to talk to somebody about bodybuilding if they're going to the gym to lose weight because they're interested in losing weight. So the bot can talk to them. And what's interesting is the bot can do tagging in the background. So it's segmenting the people into different buckets automatically. And then it's speaking to them from that regard.
You talked about giving the bot a personality as well. Can you actually give it personalities for different market segments depending on who it's talking to?
Yes, you can. Because here's the thing. If you have the ability to do tagging and market segmentation, you can create the incarnation of that animated character that is speaking to that particular market segment, but still represents the brand of that particular company. Let me give you another example that was really fun that we did, and this one turned out really well. Again, it blew me away. You probably know John Lee Dumas, right? Entrepreneur on Fire.
I do indeed.
So my partner Jamie J from Slashdot Studio was on his show, and we were giving away a website and a chatbot, which we're now going through. We had the person who won the contest. But here's what happened, which was really kind of cool and fun. So I was talking to Jamie, and I said, you know what? Here's what we got to do. we're going to create something that's really engaging and fun for the person to come in, that before they fill out the whole page and give up all their information, why don't we build a bot that like is entertaining, that just will crack them up? So what we did is we created this bot called Wilson, which is, you remember the movie from Castaway with Tom Hanks where he's on the island and Wilson the volleyball? Yeah. So we had a talking Wilson volleyball. And we went through and we did, it's like the TV show Survivor, where they have on the TV where they go to the island, they have all the contests. So we did a challenge, right? So we had a beach challenge, and then we had a fishing challenge and a hiking challenge. And this bot was like probably 2,000 iterations. It was big. But I built this whole bot. But what was interesting, what happened, David, is nearly 94% of the people went through the entire challenge. And then they went out to the page, and almost 60% of them typed a whole page, gave us their name, their email address, their phone number, their mailing address. And we got about 70 people that personally wrote us and said, that Wilson guy was really funny. He was cracking me up, man. I was laughing my head off.
So, I mean, I would imagine these kind of conversion rates aren't going to last forever. How long do you think they'll last for?
In the Facebook Messenger world, I think, once that space gets, what I call polluted. I mean, Facebook already came out, I think it was a week or so ago, and said they're going to start selling ads in Facebook Messenger. Sure. So, that's the beginning of the end for that. But I do see we're not just in Facebook Messenger, although I still recommend you do that because there's, over 1 billion messages a month that are going on there. But we're doing a lot of things in the website space. So think about it this way, right? How many times have you, David, gone to a website, you clicked on the chat and no one was there, and you're going, oh man, right? I had a question.
Or it turns into an email. You expect to chat. And you actually just give an email, right?
Yeah, and that just is unacceptable these days. People want instant. Their attention span is small. They're going to bounce. They're going to go somewhere else. So that's what's nice about these chatbots is they're 24/7, right? They never get sick. They never show up late for work. They're never mad at your customers. They're all designed to support and help and provide those answers.
But will users not get frustrated that they're talking to bots rather than a human being, and actually figure out fairly quickly that that's what they're doing? Or do you think that bots are that good that most users wouldn't be able to tell the difference?
We don't fool people, and I don't think anybody should.
Okay.
We let them know they're talking to a bot, but because of the relationship, the RAT technology that we've developed with the animated characters and the conversational user interface, people are so engaged with this that they're staying, because what are they after at the end of the day? They're after some kind of answer, some kind of piece of information, or they want to order a pizza. We're talking to a company in Ireland that has several hundred units for sandwich shops. They want to use a chatbot where people can actually order their sandwiches. Now, the interesting thing, you've heard of QR codes, right, David?
Yeah, absolutely.
For like on, So right now, we're incorporating what's called messenger codes and Snapchat codes, where people can scan with their iPhone or their Android phone, and the bot immediately pops up. So what we're doing with companies like the sandwich company is they're going to put that like either on a fridge magnet or actually as a sticker on the sandwich, and they can scan, and the bot now, because it has machine learning, it knows what order the person did before, and it suggests, would you like to have that same order again? Kind of like what Amazon does, right? Well, you bought this, maybe you'd like this, this, and this, right? It's the same kind of thing.
So you mentioned Facebook quite a few times there. Is the way to get significant outcomes from this to actually drive traffic at your bots through paid ads on Facebook?
Yeah, we have done, so the contest that we did, they actually have Facebook Messenger ads that you can run. And right now, again, this is not going to last forever, but I will tell you, like ads that we're doing regular ads in Facebook, sending to our wellness center. That went over the last couple of years. We were paying $2 to $3 per lead. Now it's about $8 to $10 per lead, just because Facebook newsfeed is so competitive. And even Facebook said by the end of this year, they're probably going to run out of newsfeed ad space. So if you look over in the messenger space, we were paying somewhere between $150 and $250 per lead. So if you look at 100 leads, I'm paying $200 versus almost $1,000. That's a pretty big savings.
Just as well?
Yeah, that's the contest I was talking about with the 424 leads, 256 emails, and the 13-to-1 ROI. So right now, that's a time. Now's the time, to get that going, because he who builds his list, right? It's kind of going back to, you remember the days when email first came out, right? It superseded fax, and that was the big land grab time. Get an email, the conversion rates were super stellar.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of noise, and now to me, email equals noise. There's so much of that going on. I don't know about you, but I get 300 to 400 emails a day. I can't even keep up with all these emails that are coming into my inbox.
So is Messenger and apps the future of email or regular communication? And can you see people actually moving away from email completely?
That's a really good insight. My prediction is chatbots and conversational user interfaces are going to be the end of email, just like email was the end of fax. The thing about it, though, is nobody's come up. I don't know if you can see the book behind me, Play Bigger. Jamie had Christopher Lockhead, one of the authors of Play Bigger, who talks about category design. Right. And I'm really big on that. Category design is not about being better. It's about being totally different. That's why we have developed this relationship experience technology to be totally different, because when you create something that's different like that, now you've created a situation for people to completely move away from something that they've used as a platform. I mean, just think about the common sense of email, right? If you think about it, right, I have to go over to my email, I have to open my inbox, I have to search or find the email, I have to read the email, I have to click on the email. There's all that negative inertia. And, I do a lot of, in my business incubator, we do a lot of work with neuroscience research, with it's not NLP, it's EEG and fMRI with brain research data. What we found with a lot of testing, and Microsoft has done some work in testing, the average attention span of a human being now is about 8 seconds. A goldfish is 9. So we actually have less attention span than a goldfish now. But the thing is that it has to be instant. I mean, we're testing, I know you know about GIFs and things like that. We're actually testing marketing messages 10 seconds at a time, because that's about all people can stay engaged for these days, even with it being really engaging and entertaining. The whole idea with these chatbots and conversations is you got to move them from screen to screen to screen, right? Because most people are they're on their iPhone or Android phone right now. So it has to be, you have to consider those things. We talk in terms of screen snacks instead of everything just like, rolling down the screen. Because we found when we did that, and these are things we had to test because nothing is out there. We're developing our own standards. Once it rolled off the screen, we're seeing people bouncing off. Our analytics are showing it. So when I started making it like a screen snack size, people were staying with me. We were having more people go through the entire chatbot conversation.
So is Facebook the only place to get started when it comes to chatbots, or are there other opportunities out there as well that you can recommend?
We build them for websites. So websites are a great way to have a chatbot. You can build them. Now, it depends on where you are in the world, too. If you go over to the Asia-Pacific rim, WeChat is actually bigger than Facebook Messenger app. Yeah. So we would want to build for WeChat instead of Messenger over there. So it just depends on where you are in the world and, what are the major platforms that are being used. But I will say, even now, we even have the ability right now to have a bot interface actually run a phone app. So, that's where this whole hybridization is going to happen, where it's not going to be a phone app anymore. It's going to be a chat app or bot app. And I'll tell you this, I've been in small business for a long time, in local business. It's a waste of time to develop a phone app for a local business because people are not going to download it. Unless you're a multinational, the bots are the way to go because they're instant and they're engaging, and you don't have to download anything. Okay, so that's a big deal for local business.
Just a final question in relation to chatbots. A business maybe is thinking of getting on the bandwagon, but is not sure what to do first, whether it should be a web chatbot or a Facebook chatbot, and indeed what that sequence should be that the chatbot helps to take its prospects through. So how does a business actually get started when it's not sure of which direction to go in?
Well, the best way is to really, is to get an example, right? To see examples and demos and things like that. We have, if you go over to our website at slapshotstudio.com/chatbots, There's several demos over there where people can click on it, and they can actually interact with the bot there with the demos. So that can give them a place to start. If they, if they're interested and they want to talk with Jamie and I, they could set up we have a complimentary discovery session where they can talk to us. I will tell you though, every single person we've talked to, we were just in front of the Asia Pacific Rim franchise conference over in the Philippines. We were on a big screen. We didn't fly over there. It was all virtual. But what we were told, the fellow that was over there that was doing he was running basically the talk that we were doing, he said afterwards that once people saw the demo, we've seen this time after time after time, it blows your mind. It's like, oh wow, now I can use this for this, and this. It really opens up their eyes as to the practical application of how you could use chatbots in your business.
Right, okay. It's such a new technology, it's just hard to envisage how you can actually apply it to your own business without actually seeing examples. Yeah,
you got to see a demo. That's the important.
Well, in a moment, I'm going to be moving to the second part of a conversation, so we'll be asking Peter about the software that he couldn't live without. But first of all, dear viewer, dear listener, have you purchased your copy of Digital Marketing in 2017, the book yet? 107 digital marketers, one book, and all sharing their #1 actionable tip for the year. So check out the reviews and grab your copy over at digitalmarketingin2017.com. But let us segue into the second part of our discussions that focuses on Peter's thoughts on where digital marketing's been and where it's heading. So starting off with
software I couldn't live without.
So Peter, what software do you currently use in your business that if someone took away from you, it would significantly impact your marketing success?
Probably when it gets to like planning, we use Redbooth, and I love that tool. It gives us all of the planning, and it's kind of like Trulio, but it's on it has both timeline, Gantt schedule, and things like that. I love that thing for a project planning tool.
Okay, well that seemed like a fairly simple question for you, so let's try and make the next one more challenging. And that is, so what piece of software don't you use, but you've heard good things about, and you intend to try at some point in the near future?
One of the ones I have not used is Evernote, and I have, probably the same with you. Like I do a lot of running and exercising, and to be able to, I get a lot of different ideas while I'm doing that. I think Evernote would give me the ability, other than just like memo, to actually put those ideas down in an organized fashion that I could share.
So what stopped you using it? Do you use something else instead?
I use the memo on my. I have both iPhone and Android, but really it doesn't have the same feature set, right? And I'd like to be able to sync things up and share that with our team and things like that. So I think Evernote would be a good way to go.
Both iPhone and Android, that's a bit greedy. I've got an iPhone at the moment, but I'm even contemplating actually going Android again, and I've got my eye on this Google Pixel 2 XL that may be coming out at some point over the next couple of months. It sounds interesting to me.
Well, I got to have both because I got to test, the bots of both platforms, right? So
absolutely, yeah. Good excuse, yes.
Yeah.
I wish I would have.
So I'd like you to look back in the very first day that you're involved in trying to market a business online. What didn't you do so well? What do you wish that you would have done differently?
Probably what I should have done differently is get better clarity on where the heck I was going. I have over the years been a big believer in following megatrends. So these are things that, they're not going to go away. It's kind of like the internet, right? And so that whole idea of if you don't have the clarity, then it's kind of the shiny penny syndrome, right? Now you're bumping around, like doing different things. It ends up, at least for me, it wasted a lot of time. Okay. So just having that clarity, knowing the megatrends and following those has led to success for me.
Okay. And how often should you actually reset where that megatrend is, or where that end destination that you're trying to get to is? Do you think every couple of years, or is that not often enough for this digital world?
I do an end of year planning for the next year, so in December.
Right. Okay.
And I'm looking at strategic direction, setting goals, looking at the mega trends. But I also break it up into I try to do it once a quarter, but at least biannual, so it's at least every 6 months, right? So I'm constantly keeping an eye. There's several mega trends going on out there, but you know, when I saw the chatbots, I actually, my business incubator, usually I work with 6 to 8 different companies. I'm working with one now because we said we're all in on this one. This to me is massive.
Oh, it's great to have that focus. Okay, well, let's move on to
the this or that round.
So this is the quick response round. 10 quick questions.
Okay.
Just 2 rows here. Try not to think about the answer too much, and you're only allowed to say the word both on 1 occasion, so use it wisely.
Okay, this could be bad.
Twitter or Snapchat?
Twitter.
Facebook or LinkedIn?
LinkedIn.
YouTube or Facebook Live?
Facebook Live.
Mobile or desktop?
Mobile.
Website or app?
Probably app.
Paid search or SEO?
Both.
Outreach or advertise?
Advertise, I guess.
Email to one or email to many?
Email to one.
Social subscriber or email subscriber?
Social subscriber.
And local marketing or global marketing?
Global.
You were concerned about that, but got through that without using your both at all. So that's very impressive. I think the gaps.
What kind of
question
personality am I now?
Well, I'll leave that for the listener to decide.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say the gaps between the question and the answer seemed to extend as each question was asked.
Well, it got tougher, David.
But you veered for social subscriber over email subscriber after your forecast for what's going to happen to email over the next few years, of course.
Yeah. I don't like email. I'm sorry. I just don't. And that's why I love it when chatbots came around, because, like, great, finally, I can get rid of this out of my world and many other people's. I know there's a lot of people still do email marketing, and I do to some degree, but I really think that email is going away in the next few years.
The $10,000 question.
If I was to give you $10,000 and you had to spend it over the next few days on a single thing to grow your business, what would you spend it on, and how would you measure success?
I would probably spend it on building my own bot platform. With all the features that I want in it, and have a graphical dashboard analytics panel that gives me all the results and the key performance indicators for my business and other businesses that we work with.
I kind of served that answer for you on a plate almost, but that was a good answer anyway. So. Great. Okay, well, that just takes us up to
my number 1 takeaway.
So, Peter, you've offered a lot of great advice in our conversation, but what is the number 1 takeaway? What's the single most important step that our listener needs to take away and implement in their own business?
You know, that's a really good question. I go back to, getting really serious about this. We all, David, you've had it, we've had it, all your listeners have had it. There's been times in our life where it's like, man, I wish I would have bought that house. I wish I would have invested in Netflix. I wish I would have started email when it first came out. And I'm just letting people know it is a good time to get in on chatbots now. Do not wait to be in the main street, because kind of in any country, I don't care whether you're from Europe, Australia, United States, Canada, there was a time when people came to that land and they were pioneers, and there was a huge land grab. And they were able to grab hundreds and thousands of acres and stake their claim. You have that in the digital space right now with chatbots. The boat is leaving the dock, and I'd hate to see a lot of you guys swimming for the boat instead of being on the boat with all of us.
You heard it, dear listener. Jump on the boat. Well, that takes us to the end of our discussion today. So thank you so much for your time and your advice, Peter. What's the best way for a listener to find out more about you and what you do?
Just go over to, if you want to check out our demos, that's the best way to kind of get your mind wrapped around this. Go to slapshotstudio.com/chatbots, and that's with an S, it's plural. So slapshotstudio.com/chatbots.
Wonderful. Okay, so thank you to Peter, and thank you, dear listener, too. If you have an opinion of what Peter shared today, tell us what you think. So the Facebook page is, of course, facebook.com/digitalmarketingradio. You can tweet me at David Bain. Plus, please remember to subscribe to the podcast if you're not already, so you can do that at digitalmarketingradio.com/iTunes for iPhones or digitalmarketingradio.com/Android for Android devices. But until we meet again, be fantabulous and do one thing that scares you. Adios. Thank you, Peter. Great show.
Awesome. Good.